Israel is using this moment to further entrench its unrelenting settler colonization of Palestine. Here are the top 3 things you should know. Annexation has emerged as a top priority of Israel's government, which is eager to take advantage of President Trump's green light with his deal of the century announced in January.
My vision presents a win-win opportunity for both sides.
This deal, better known as the Steal of the Century and the Apartheid Plan, combines Israel's past 5 decades of land theft.
The United States will recognize Israeli sovereignty over the territory that my vision provides to be part of the State of Israel.
It contains Palestinians within fragmented territories that signals the death of a viable Palestinian state.
For the annexation in the West Bank, the Israelis will ultimately make those decisions. That's an Israeli decision.
What's happening now is the result of decades of harmful U.S. Mideast policy. Trump and Netanyahu are planning to enact de jure, or official annexation. But in reality, this land theft is already in place through de facto annexation. The United States has been Israel's biggest supporter since 1967 and enabled Israel to expand its occupation before our very eyes. Since the 1967 war, when Israel occupied the Sinai Peninsula, the Golan Heights, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip, every U.S. administration has insisted that settlements are contrary to international law and counterproductive to peace. But in reality, each one has provided Israel with unequivocal financial, diplomatic, and military support, enabling it to expand and entrench its sprawling settler colonial enterprise. The United States has also single-handedly provided diplomatic immunity for Israel in the international community. The U.S. has used its Security Council veto 43 times between 1967 and 2017 to shield Israel from accountability. As the self-appointed sole broker for peace, the U.S. has only furthered Israel's expansionist interests. As put by Aaron David Miller, who served 6 U.S. Secretaries of State on Arab-Israeli negotiations, the U.S. has operated, quote, more like Israel's attorney at the expense of peace negotiations. The boundaries Trump and Netanyahu drew on their map reflect the territorial reality that was ushered in by the so-called peace process, leaving Palestinians only a fraction of their lands. Israel seeks to annex 60% of West Bank territory, which is known as Area C, a jurisdictional category invented by the peace process in 1995. Area C contains the majority of the West Bank's natural resources, like water, like farmlands, like Dead Sea minerals. And those resources could help Palestinians generate up to $3.4 billion for their national economy, according to the World Bank. Since 1995, and under the cover of peacemaking, Israel has steadily removed Palestinians from Area C and concentrated them into areas A and B in order to expand Israeli settlements and place Israeli civilian settlers in their place. According to the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Palestinians now have access to less than 1% of Area C lands. They do not need charity, they need freedom. To be concerned about this is understandable, but we should be honest about how we got here. Now is the time to reckon with American responsibility. Formal annexation is the obvious result of decades of unequivocal support for Israeli policies, de facto annexation of Palestinian lands, and Israel's ongoing, separate, and unequal apartheid regime. Palestinians have been shouting from the rooftops that as non-sovereigns of their own state and non-citizens of Israel, they are subjected to perpetual Israeli domination. And it's happening before us in real time. At a minimum, the $3.8 billion we provide to Israel every year must be conditioned and ultimately ended. And as the public, we cannot sit idly by and say nothing.